one location.
How is the location deciding what encounter to get to?
Because our enemies should be restricted to the location. Like, you shouldn't fight.
But so we set target location has a list of encounters.
Yeah.
How are we going to decide from that list of encounters which one you get to interact with?
We should set, like...
numbers. What numbers?
The numbers of the encounter.
When you go to a location, that location has to decide which encounter you get.
Yeah.
Others available encounters. And how is it going to decide that? I did say this.
Shouldn't we make a list of the encounters we want to use? Like an array?
No, that's what that encounter encounters.
Yeah.
That is an array of encounters.
But we haven't, like, defined them.
That's true. But when you go to a location, how is that location going to decide which of those three things to show you? It can't say, you run into a moose and find a key and there's a sword. It says, there's an enemy. That usually is one of the first things that happens. Or it says, maybe you go there and there's nothing to do. But if you come back later with a sheep, the troll jumps out. The troll smells your sheep and decides to attack. How are they going to decide which encounter to give you in our current system?
Our level?
I said the player level would always decide what's going to happen.
Player level.
So if there's a gate that can't be opened by a key, we would say that gate requires you to be level 2. And that key could get you to level 2. That was our system. This means that all of the conditions for location is broken down into a single scale, a single number. It's a one-dimensional condition. You're either level 2 or you're not. So what sucks about that is if you find the key out of order, right, we have no support in our game for real player decision. Our game only allows you to go through things linearly. If you need to level 2 to get the key, then the only thing you can do at level 1 is talk to people and look for the key. All the level 1 interactions should be leading you to get whatever makes you level 2. All the level 2 interactions should help you get to level 3. You can't do anything out of order. It's not very, so you're like, it's not flexible. Our exits would be some number, our encounters would be some number. What if we wrote some kind of code where each location decides for itself what to do? Wouldn't that be cool?
What would be?
Now,
Is there a way to do that easily?
Kinda. I have to teach you something new to do it, but I'm going to talk about why we have to do it this way. What does a structure do?
It instructs.
It gives attributes to the structure.
A group's variables.
It just stores group variables. It's a bunch of variables that exist at the same address, the same place. Whatever that structure is called, dot, and then whatever you want to access. You can access it all from the same parent. It's all in charge. What are the two things that all of code is broken down into?
Input and output.
Instructions is one of them. What's the other one?
Instructions and action.
If you're not performing a task, what are you doing? Memory. All programming is instructions and memory.
Instructions and
The
memory.
structure is which of those two things? It's just memory. It's just a way to group memory. How do we group instructions? We've done it before. What's this guy?
Or main.
He's a function. A function is a group of instructions. Now, this particular function, being our main function, is also our entry point. It's the first set of instructions that will go off. This instruction creates and assigns some memory. I don't know if it's funny though. If we could have a structure that has functions inside of it, we can group memory and instructions in one place, kind of like our main function. But even our main function is getting called from somewhere else. We're going to define a class. This is a reserved word. This is some critical stuff. I'm going to type class. And maybe I'll call it place for now. It's not a very good name. I pretty much want to call it class location, but I don't feel like deleting my struct yet. Not yet. Now, class is a lot like a struct. I can just start defining things. I can say it's position, right? I'm just going to do some of this stuff. String intro text. Here's where it's going to get a little different, though. I'm going to comment out. I'm not going to delete anything yet. comment out another struct for now. I'll just move them out of the way. This is just for your guys' visibility. It has nothing to do with programming. I just want to be able to scroll down and look at these two things at the same time. Likewise, like comment this out. Well, oh man, I'm sorry. I don't know. This part I will comment out. Okay. So I have class slate. Let's see what happens when I try and do this. Slate. I'll name it swamp. Swamp dot. What do you think happens when you type a dot inside of Visual Studio?
It accesses.
Is that part of the struct?
And it usually shows you what those options are, right? Now I typed a dot and I didn't get any options. There we are. Looking good. You see the symbol? This symbol should look different than a struct though. We're about to get into something, it's really simple. Classes have the ability to declare things to be public or private. We'll talk about that in a bit. Just note that if I try and use this right now, did I say that in capital? Gross. If I try this, I'm going to get an error. We'll talk about why. Error. Place position. So it knows that I have a class called place, and it knows I'm trying to access the position. This cannot access private members. So a class, being more complicated than a structure, they have this thing called privacy. There are some variables we don't want you to be able to access. And by default, any variable you define in a class is private. What that means is, I couldn't access it. I tried to say swamp.position equals 0 and it got mad at me.
Just like class is established with like people too. Like you can't get in the country club unless you got money.
It's different from that. The idea is, since every class could be a very complicated thing, we try and break up tasks. We try and break up who's in charge of what. In this case, I have a class called place, and then he's in charge of those variables. And he's not going to let anyone else access those variables. The idea is that he will have some variables that only he should know about, but then maybe some variables that other people can see. So by making those things private, it ensures that no other code could mess it up. A common thing for this is maybe an object is storing its own x and y position. And you might hear the words read only. It might let you read its location, but it may not let you modify its location. It might say, well, I'm actually a physics object. No one's allowed to tell me where to go except for the physics engine. You back off. That's the basic idea, is to prevent access, because if everything was accessible by everything, they might start telling each other what to do. In our code, we usually like to have one thing in charge.
So classes are like the boss struct?
It's not quite. For now, where does every code start? What's our entry point for all of our code?
Main?
Our main function. So the main function, if we were to build a big project, let's say we had some game that involves physics and tiles and whatever. Maybe it's 3D Jenga. Sure. Our main function would probably create the game. It'd probably have a physics engine that we need to start running. We'd say, hey, physics engine, you go be in charge of these blocks. Hey, input manager, you be in charge of player input. And then there might be a third part. This is, hey, you're the player controller. I'll let you talk to player input, but you can't modify player input. You can only read player input. So the idea is, as you have a huge group of tasks, not everyone needs to know, right? If you were on a submarine, someone's like, you do your job.
Class
You
needs to
don't have
know
a clearance
basis.
for this. There is this need to know. You only need to know how to do your own job.
Only needs to know
That was kind of a long
what it
explanation.
needs to know.
So let's just show how we can make this from private into public.
Make it private into public.
There's one of the keywords of public.
Keyword.
That's it.
Public.
So what the prompt says is those two data types are public. Those two variables, sorry. Because those are public, when anytime someone wants to access place, they can read that information. So now, when I set swamp.position equals 0 and I run it, it says no problem. Ran without me getting it. So if you make a public variable and nothing else, it's a struct. Really no difference. No difference at all. Yes, question?
Class public is the same as a struct.
Absolutely. So if I want other things to be private, maybe this is like, I don't know, secret password. This is a really lame example, but if for whatever reason the user inputs the magic number, maybe they get the warp or something. So this is now private. If I say dot position is 0, swamp. If I type a dot, we'll now see. This might be hard to see. I might zoom in on this. Notice that one of those options, if you look at the zoomed in part, has a lock on it. Secret password has a blue square and then a lock, a padlock, saying, private, you don't have access. I'll let you know about it as a programmer, but I'm not going to let you do anything with it, because that's for place to be in charge of. Question?
Translator, I think that's one to be private itself.
Yes, I think that works. Try it, find out.
Since place dictates it, can't you access it through place?
Place can access it internally. We'll get to that in a second. Do you have a question? In an air? What's your say? What's it say?
But it's out of array must not exceed the array 7.
So it sounds like the size of your array got too big. This was in